Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I'd like to share with you a card I put together using the Hippest Hippos stamp set. It's out of our Sale-a-Bration brochure. Sale-a-Bration is a exclusive sale that Stampin' Up does now twice a year, used to be just once, and it goes on from the beginning of July through the end of August. And all of these products are available only while supplies last, and there's actually one that's already gone. So you can find the Hippest Hippos on page 4. There is a coordinating die set called Hippo dies. I'll also be using those today. And the product that's already sold out are these pool party and soft sea foam cards and envelopes. Really beautiful, and they paired really well with the Splendid Day suite, but those have sold out and they're no longer available, which only goes to say that don't wait to get the products. Every $50 order will get a level 1 product out of this catalog, and every $100 order can get any level 2. And you can get as many of in increments that you decide to purchase. There are also ways to earn. If you want to become a demonstrator, you can receive with your starter kit a planner. It has all of the supplies you might need to get yourself organized. Certainly you could use it for your personal life as well. It comes along with all the regular starter kit items that you choose at the same price. There's also a free stamp set for when you host, and that comes when your party or order reaches $300. So there are lots of different options when you decide to participate during our Sale-a-Bration promotion. So here is the card that I'm going to share. It's a Z fold. It's one of my favorite fun folds. And I'm using in it also and I'm not sure I wrote them down. I'm also using, the Scallop Contours dies. They coordinate with the Color and Contour stamp set, but there are so many uses just for these scalloped shapes. So let me tell you all the supplies you're going to need. And I'll kind of get going here. Got a couple itty bitty things to pull off. Okay, so you are going to want a half a sheet of cardstock. I am using Petal Pink. It's cut at 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And by the way, all of these measurements will be in my description as well as on my blog, justalittle.ink.com. And you can order any of the supplies you might need at my website, justalittle.ink.stampinup.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be yours. So what the other things you will need, I'm using a couple different pieces of designer series paper. This designer series paper happens to be from Sale-a-Bration. It is the Rings of Love. I'm using 2 sides of the same actual paper. One piece that you will need is 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches, and the other is 4 inches by 5 1/4. You're going to need some pieces of our basic white. You're going to cut 2 using the die set, and this I believe is the second to the smallest. You're going to want one that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, thereabouts. That's these 2 pieces, and you're also going to want a piece that's 1 1/2 by 2 1/2 to cut the cute little hippo. And then you need some scraps. You need a scrap piece of Saffron so you can cut out some of the little stars. And you'll also need a scrap of our Flirty Flamingo so that you can cut out some of the flowers. And I used Stampin' blends for coloring in my hippo. I used our Smoky Slate blends, and you need a little bit of green, could be any green. I used the Granny Apple green to do the stem of the flower. So let's show you how fast and easy this card goes together. So I'm going to stamp my hippest hippo using my Memento ink. It is the ink you want to use anytime you're using the Stampin' blends. I'm going to stamp him here, hold it there to let that ink penetrate the fibers of the paper. And then I can set that aside. You can clean it later, which is what I want to do. You always want to clean your stamps. And then I'm going to show you just real quick kind of how I colored my hippo. I came in with the dark along the edge, up into here. Did the same thing along all his little body lines to kind of shadow where I wanted it at. So come along here, come here. You could do as much or as little as you want. And then I came in with the light, because all of our Stampin' blends come in a light and a dark. They are not refillable. However, they do last a long time under normal use. And again, they are only sold in sets. So I'm going to kind of color along. I'm not going to do the whole hippo because I want to take my time more with assembly. And then I just came in with the lighter to do in his face on the lighter pieces. So his belly and his muzzle. I'm not sure on a hippo if that's a muzzle. I should know my hippo parts. Like so. Keep going at it. And then what I did to kind of make it a little bit lighter is I pulled out my color lifter. I refer to it as a color pusher because it kind of pushes that color around, and just kind of went on top of it to lighten it up. So I'm going to set that aside, open up my set. I keep my dies together. So I have my die set here. I would then grab, let's see, get this one here. I would grab my die, put it on here, put a little bit of washi tape to hold it, and I would run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And when I do, I'm going to get a cute little hippo cut out. And then I would run through, again, with my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All of these dies will go through the mini. I would run through my flowers. And you will end up, I ended up doing it then one more time. So I did it twice. So I get 3. I want 2 of the small flowers, and I want 1 of the large flowers. So one of those you will not end up using. And then there is little tiny stars. And that's what I ran through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini for some stars. And so that's what I was kind of getting out of the way earlier. They want to fall on the floor pretty easily. So you've got that. So let's get going. And I'm going to point out that I also used my Stamparatus. Let's just let this out of the side. My Stamparatus, I've already aligned my greeting. Ah, you're really the best. You really are the best. And it comes with 2 magnets. They store underneath. You do not need the extra pad because these are red rubber stamps, so you don't need the extra lift. And I've got a little mark because I want it further away from the corner. So I'm going to again pull out that Memento ink, ink up my greeting. The nice thing about the Stamparatus is it allows you perfect placement, and you can do multiples, so over and over and over again. And if it didn't ink, you could come back down. But I have inked well, so I'm just going to set this out of the way. Now I'm going to attach And then we will put this on the front of my card. I have some great tips on what that looks like. So I'm going to use my Stampin' seal. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. I popped up my little Hippo. So I'm just going to throw a few of them on here. You don't need, get a little close to the edge. You don't need too many, but I want them to stand out. So I'm going to pull those off, pull off those little backers, which love to kind of hang out and then you have fun finding them later. So I'm going to line up my Hippo into the left section of this. And then I'm going to, I colored the flower, but then I had decided I really liked the die cut in there. So I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive right on top of that flower. Some of our multi-purpose liquid glue. This is one of the places I'm using one of the small flowers. Get a hold of it. And what I did is I just did enough to where it kind of disguised where that flower is, like so. And then I did the larger of the stars. You've got 3 stars in that die set, and you don't need very much adhesive. You'll need a little dot. And this is one of those areas where our pickup tool comes in really handy. So I'm going to pick it up, or take your pick tool, and I'm going to scoot it around into that adhesive. And then the last thing I'm going to do is attach a couple more of these flowers. And so you can just put a dot in the places where you want it. So I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to take one a little lower, like so. And again here. And you could again use your take your pick tool. I don't have an issue grabbing those little flowers. So like so. So I told you you have a piece that's 4 1/4 by 11. You're going to score it at 4 1/4, which is, or excuse me, at 5 1/2, which is right in the middle. So I'm going to line up my cardstock in half. Use my bone folder. And I've also scored it at 2 3/4 inches. So then I can pull this piece back, like so. And then I'm going to attach my designer series paper. I want the floral part on the flap. So we're going to line it up. And I think I forgot to tell you one piece of cardstock. Let's see if I have a piece sitting around here. I bet you oh yes, I did. Kept one here. You also need a piece that's 4. Oh no, you don't. I'm not thinking straight, because normally you do need one for the inside, but no, you don't. You could put one on the back if you wanted it for some writing, but I think this paper is easily seen. So you want your other print, which I'm using the plaid on the inside. Must have Friday brain. Do you get Friday brain? All right, so then I'm going to attach my Hippo in the center. Now, if I put adhesive all the way across, it's going to attach it and it's not going to lift. So you only want adhesive from, it's not even half. So I'm going to come in and grab some adhesive on this side. I'm going to line up my scallop and put it in the center, like so. Open up, see, and then it opens. And then I've got a great tip for mounting this piece so that it is hidden. So I'm going to line it up on my scallop. And I'm going to hold it exactly where I have it on the front so that I know it's going to hide. Put my adhesive, and again, just double check before I close things up. Make sure everything is exactly where I want it. Hold my finger for my left hand, and I'm going to close my card. And when I do, it covers it exactly, so that then I have my Z-fold card. Pretty sweet, huh? Now I have also come up with all the other different images that come in the stamp set and the die sets with different cards, same layout, but different prints. This is using the T Boutique paper and the little hippo that's all on point. Use some of the hearts and some of our fresh freesia paper. I also did a birthday hippo. Used the birthday hat that's in the die set, some of the stars. I'll have to note it in my blog what stamp set I used here. I believe that it is, oh, I may not have it sitting here. Oh yes, Charming Sentiments. And then I also use the stitched rectangles instead of the scallops, but the same concept. And here I use some of our In Color Designer Series paper. And then for this last one, I thought he was just too cute, taking a dip into the bucket. I end up using some of our retired paper. So this was paper that was available for the short time with the ocean set a few months ago, but it was the right colors with the my brain is seriously not working, with Pacific Point. But again, the same layout, just having a lot more fun with these cute, adorable dies. So I hope that you've loved this and that you will consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you've not already. Like and share this video. And again, if you don't already have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. You can order anytime, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great